Chapter 3, Divine Domains Crystal Wall, Class Expedition. Translator, Endless Fantasy Translation Editor, Endless Fantasy Translation. As if injected with some sort of great power, 3,000 ordinary tree spirits suddenly grew taller and bigger. In the end, what appeared in front of Solo was a crystal-clear world tree that was 1,000 feet tall. Suddenly, a huge stream of faith swept toward Solo. Great God, thank you for your gift. We will forever submit to your divine power unflinchingly, even through fire and water. Thank you, great God. Your majestic power has allowed us to obtain the peak of nirvana. Your humble believers send their sincere respect to you. Waves of extremely fanatical thoughts surged from the world tree. From this, Solo could clearly feel his power increasing. He quickly opened his godly golden eye and checked the world tree's attributes of the world. My believers' levels have increased to that of a mythical being, and their faith levels have also reached that of a fanatic. Hiss. Isn't this rapid increase a little too terrifying? The faith that every believer could provide would change according to their strength, quality, and faith level. The stronger one was, the higher the quality and level of faith they would provide. For this mythical level world tree that had now become a fanatic believer, it could now provide 1,000 faith points every day that could be condensed and refined accordingly. In just a short instant, Solo had obtained 3,000 faith points. These were the 3,000 faith points that he had just used to buy 3,000 tree spirits. The enormous amount of faith power emitting from the world tree had already entered Solo's body, immediately nourishing his divine body, soul, and power. It caused his strength to continuously increase. Solo had a feeling that if this opportunity came 10 more times, he would be able to become a Tier 2 god quite quickly. Name, World Tree. Type, Spiritual Monster. Strength, Tier 1. Aptitude, Mythical. Talent, World Source Energy. The World Tree can continuously release World Source Energy to achieve the goal of expanding their god's domain. Skills, Entanglement, Level 10, Tree Dragon Strangle, Level 5, 10,000 Leaves and Flying Flowers, Level 1. Status, Fanatic, can provide 10 faith points per day from each tree spirit. Solo opened the World Tree's attribute panel and was overjoyed. A god's believer's strength was divided into ascending order from rank 1 to rank 9 transcendence, followed by demigods. After reaching the peak level of a demigod, if one could condense a divine spark, they would then enter the realm of a lower god. In the end, what realm a believer could grow into was limited by their aptitude. When a believer had a mythical level aptitude, it meant that it could grow into a god-level existence. The most crucial thing was still the world tree's innate ability. It could actually release world origin energy and help expand the scale of the divine realm. One had to know that to scale the levels of a divine realm was not that easy. Looking at Solo's own achievements in igniting the divine fire and condensing his divine spark to open his divine realm was not the same. He only had to use 1,000 faith points. These faith points were merely a catalyst to open up a divine domain. It mostly depended on one's aptitude. This was also the reason why some people could open up a divine domain with 2 or 3 planets, while others could reach 8 or 9 planets almost immediately. After the divine domain was opened up and a god wanted to expand it, the god of the divine domain would have to increase their strength so that their domain would expand on its own, or they would have to defeat other faith gods and devour their domains. Other than these 2 methods, there were practically no other methods that could expand the god's domain. However, his world tree could actually help his domain expand. It was simply inconceivable. When Solo activated his godly golden eye and began to inspect the situation of his divine domain, he could not help but suck in a breath of cold air. Streams of gray fog emanated from the world tree, gathering toward the divine domain's crystal walls. This gray fog actually pushed against his divine domain's crystal walls, slowly expanding outward. One had to know that a god's divine domain's crystal walls were incomparably sturdy. Even gods themselves were unable to break through them in one hit. They could be said to be the god's domain's most powerful defense. Yet, even such a sturdy crystal wall was being pushed by the gray fog, slowly expanding outward. How could Solo not be shocked? At the end of every breath, Solo's divine domain would expand slightly. Although it was slow, it continued to expand. After his divine domain had undergone amplification 1,000 times and expanded, it would already be 100 or 1,000 times larger than a god of the same level. Now, with this world tree, who knew how much it would expand to? It was simply unimaginable. And with 3,000 mythical level tree spirits giving power to this world tree, they would also provide Solo a tremendous increase in strength in addition to the terrifying scale of the divine realm. Not to mention, a fanatic world tree could provide 10 faith points every day per tree spirit. 3,000 tree spirits meant that he would be able to condense 30 faith points per spirit every day. In just 100 days, he could earn back the 3,000 faith points he had consumed. In the same batch of preparatory theological seminary graduates, Solo was absolutely the #1 existence. Even for some of the more experienced gods, they might not necessarily be able to obtain faith points and power faster than him. At this moment, Solo's divine medallion suddenly began to vibrate. This divine medallion had the user's aura imprinted on it. It was bound to an individual and could be used as long as divine power was fed to it. The medallion was mainly used for communication and one could contact the other no matter how far apart it was. It was convenient and simple. Solo opened it and saw that there were many unread messages in his class channel. Instructor at all members and students, how is the development of your divine domain going? Instructor, everyone, please make a report of the scale and I'll make a count. Guzhou, only having a plane that's about 5 planets is a bit disappointing with the stuff I've learned in school. Fang Hong, TSK. Guzhou is being as modest as ever. However, I would say that a plane of 5 planets is quite average. Even my 7-planet plane is still far from being comparable to those favored by the heavens. Lu Bin, ha. Fang Hong is still as straightforward as before. However, don't be discouraged, Guzhou. I have only just opened up my 5-planet plane's divine realm. We are almost the same. Zhou Feng, hee hee. Mine wasn't really that much, it was barely able to reach a 6-planet plane. Zhang Xiao, same with me. Zhang Wen, damn it. I feel that all of you are so amazing. At Solo, how big is your divine domain? Say it out and share it with everyone. The 20 or so new gods in Class 3 had opened up a divine domain. The smaller domains were at the size of 3 to 5 planets, while the larger ones averaged at 6 to 7. It seemed that the overall results were all pretty good. However, compared to Solo's divine domain of 1,000 planets, the difference was like heaven and earth. He had no intention of revealing the scale of his divine domain to his classmates. Otherwise, he would simply be creating trouble for himself. However, how much should he say? 9 planets? 10? Or even 20? It seemed that the highest result in history had not reached the scale of even 20 planets. During his classes at the preparatory seminary, Solo had always been a loner and rarely interacted with others. However, his theoretical understanding was good and his cultivation speed was the fastest. He was much better than everyone else that they could not even compare to him. This made many people feel dissatisfied with their class overachiever. Read latest chapters at Wuxia World. Sight only. At this moment, seeing that Solo did not speak, someone immediately wanted to mock him. However, at that moment, the teacher interrupted them. Alright, let's move on to the next topic. The preparatory seminary has discovered a primitive plane and is preparing to summon everyone to develop it. Your performance will be recorded in your graduation results. This will directly affect what choice you might want to take for your advanced seminary.